Once upon a time, in a distant land, the weather was hotter than usual. The flowers planted by the villagers wilted due to the intense heat, and animals grew tired more quickly. The king's guards were sweating profusely inside their uniforms. "Today is hotter than yesterday. We are being ruined in these clothes," they complained. However, neither the king nor the soldiers nor the villagers could understand the reason behind the increasing heat. Maria, a young girl, noticed the wilting crops in her field and became very upset. "If this continues, all the vegetables will dry up. The heat needs to stop urgently," she said. Maria approached the king and complained about the temperature in the air and explained how her fields were drying up. The king, in response, assigned a young knight the task of finding the cause of the heat. With great courage, the young knight set out on a journey and eventually discovered a dragon in the 7th cave of the mountain with 7 caves. The dragon constantly spewed fire without closing its mouth. Realizing that the heat was caused by this dragon, the knight ran towards it with his sword to stop it. However, the dragon, seeing the knight, threw him back to the village with a single breath and continued to breathe fire over the village. The knight, blackened by the flames, passed through the villagers, and Maria and others were saddened by the knight's condition. The knight went to the king and explained everything that had happened. "Your Majesty, a furious dragon is constantly spewing fire over our village, and that's why the temperature is increasing," he said. The king couldn't believe his ears and, for a few days, pondered in his room on how to defeat the dragon. Later, he summoned his messenger and gave him a task. The messenger gathered the villagers and announced the king's request. "The heat in our village is caused by a dragon living in the 7th cave of the mountain with 7 caves. Our powerful king has decreed that whoever can slay this dragon will be rewarded with 100 gold coins." Upon hearing the messenger's words, the villagers were frightened, and each of them began to retreat to their homes. However, at that moment, the farmer girl Maria stepped forward with great courage. "I can slay the dragon," she declared. The messenger exclaimed, "What? You're just a girl who tills the soil. We need strong male warriors. Is there none among you?" Despite the king's reward, no one else came forward except Maria. Maria said, "I am a hard-working girl with animals and fields. I am ready to do my best to end this heat. Otherwise, all our efforts will be ruined." Neither the messenger nor the villagers took Maria's words seriously. Nevertheless, the next day, Maria took her bow and arrow and set out on her journey. That day was even hotter than the previous ones, and climbing the mountain with 7 caves was not easy. Along the way, Maria constantly sweated and drank water. "I'm so tired, but I must continue. Come on, Maria, only 2 more caves to the goal. You can do it," she encouraged herself. After a while, Maria reached the 6th cave of the mountain and saw that all the special flowers growing there had cooled down. "Even these unique flowers have bowed down. The dragon will surely cry," Maria said. Maria managed to climb to the 7th cave of the mountain, where it was extremely hot. Almost melting, Maria was about to give up when she suddenly heard a strange sound from the dragon. "What? Is the dragon crying?" she wondered. Indeed, the dragon was crying. Maria walked around and noticed that it had entangled itself in a thorny vine. "It can't be. This is so horrible. Is this why you're constantly screaming and breathing fire?" Maria exclaimed. She managed to free the dragon from the thorny vine, and the dragon, realizing it was free, thanked Maria and then lifted her onto its back and started flying in the sky. When the villagers felt the temperature returning to normal, they were overjoyed. Looking up at the sky, they saw Maria bravely flying on the dragon's back. Among themselves, the villagers said, "Look at Maria! Wow, she did it! She truly succeeded!" The next morning, Maria went to the king and explained how she saved the dragon. Due to her courage and kindness, Maria became the only young girl in the kingdom to be granted the title of Brave Knight. From that day on, the legend of Maria and the dragon, the Brave Knight, was passed down through the centuries, narrated to the children who once worked in the fields, just like Maria. If you enjoyed our tale, Don't forget to like and subscribe.